You know how sometimes you stumble upon a tradition and think, there's got to be more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what we're diving into today, Akshaya Tritiya.
Huh.
But we're not just looking at the calendar date. We're exploring how it weaves into the story of a specific family.
Exactly. We have some really fascinating material here, excerpts detailing the general significance of Akshaya Tritiya in Hinduism, but also side by side information about the Singh family's tradition.
Their Kupuja, right?
Their Kulpuja, yeah, their ancestral worship, which they observe on this very day.
Ah,
So our goal really is to connect these pieces to understand why Akshaya Tritiya holds such, broad religious and cultural importance,
hmm
and then see how one family, the Singhs, keeps this vibrant link to their heritage through this day and their devotion at the Siddhi temple.
It sounds like a great example of how personal history and these bigger cultural things get tangled up.
Absolutely. It's that intersection of personal heritage and broader Hindu traditions.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Akshaya Tritiya. What does that name even mean?
Well, Akshay literally translates to never ending or imperishable, something like that.
Never ending. Okay.
And Tritiya just means the third day. So Akshaya Tritiya is the third day of the bright half of the Hindu month of Vaishak.
Which is usually April or May.
Yeah, around April, May. And from a religious standpoint, it's considered, well, incredibly auspicious for a whole bunch of reasons.
Okay, tell me more. What
All right.
makes it so special?
For starters, there's this widely held belief that Lord Vishnu, one of the principal deities,
Right.
he actually rescued the earth from the primordial waters on this very day.
Wow, okay.
And it's also celebrated as the day Lord Parashuram was born. He's revered as the sixth avatar or incarnation of Vishnu.
Sixth avatar. Got it.
Plus, it's seen as a particularly good time to offer prayers to Surya Dev, the sun god.
Interesting. Our sources also mention something about the Ganges River.
Yes, definitely. Taking a bath in the Ganges on Akshaya Tritiya is believed to give you significant spiritual merit.
And a really crucial aspect of the day is the act of giving donations, or datin, giving to those who are less fortunate. So it's definitely packed with religious meaning. But it sounds like it goes beyond just religious practices.
Oh, absolutely. Culturally, there's a strong belief, that buying gold on Akshaya Tritiya brings lasting wealth and prosperity.
I think I've heard that one before.
It's pretty common, yeah. And it's also seen as a really opportune moment to start new ventures.
Like a business.
A business, or really any important new project. Plus, you might notice more weddings happening around this day.
Ah, okay.
Because it's considered a very favorable time for marriage, too.
Are there specific rituals, then, that people typically do on Akshaya Tritiya?
Yes, several important ones. Many Hindus will wake up before sunrise, take a bath.
Early start.
Yeah, and offer water to Surya Dev, sort of as a gesture of respect. Worship of Lord Vishnu and his consort, Lakshmi.
The goddess of wealth.
Exactly. She's central to the day's observances. And like we said, charity, especially towards the poor and needy, is really emphasized.
Right, the Dailan.
And it's also a tradition for families to, cook and share new dishes, celebrating the day together with meals.
Nice. Now, the material then sort of shifts focus to the Singh family. What can you tell us about their background and how Akshaya Tritiya fits in?
Right. So the Singh family and also the Baidi family mentioned alongside them, they trace their roots back to Bundi in Rajasthan, India.
Okay, Rajasthan.
Yeah. And their ancestral journey apparently took them through Ujjain before they eventually settled in Kathmandu and Bhaktapur in Nepal.
So a bit of a migration there.
The definite migration path. They identify their that's M-U-L, meaning root or origin ancestor, as Ganpat Singh Rathore.
Ganpat Singh Rathore.
Yeah. And this places them within the Rajput Patar or subcaste.
Okay.
Which is part of the broader the Kshatriya caste, traditionally associated with warriors and rulers, that sort of thing.
And there's a fascinating story about how they got to Nepal, right?
Yes. According to local legends, either King Harisingdev III of Simrangarh or maybe King Siddhi Narsingh Malla brought skilled people, including Vaidya's practitioners of Ayurvedic medicine from Rajasthan to Kathmandu.
To help out.
Exactly. To contribute to royal affairs, various other fields. And the Singh family tradition suggests their ancestors were among these folks and became involved in practicing Ayurvedic medicine there in the Kathmandu and Bhaktapur areas.
That's a really interesting piece of history, or legend, perhaps. So how does this all tie into the Siddhi temple?
Well, this is the core connection. The Singh family observes their Kul Puja, again, that's the worship of ancestral deities,
Right.
at the Harisiddhi temple in Lalitpur on Akshaya Tritiya.
On the actual day. Okay.
Exactly. And what's really striking is the mention of another Harisiddhi Devi temple back in Ujjain, India.
Where they passed through on their migration.
Precisely. And the priest at the Lalitpur temple apparently noted that land was allocated historically for the upkeep of the Lalitpur temple, maybe hinting at a connection.
Interesting.
There's also some speculation about the Rathore community in Ujjain being involved in protecting their Harisiddhi Devi.
Which could link back to.
Potentially link back to their ancestor Ganpat Singh Rathore. And it's worth noting his name actually pops up in other genealogies too.
So he was a known figure.
Seems like it, yeah. Puts it in a wider historical context.
So we're seeing this thread. Origins in Rajasthan, this deity, Harisiddhi Devi, and their present-day worship in Nepal on this really significant day. Let's delve a bit deeper into the Harisiddhi temple itself. Where is it exactly?
Okay, so the Harisiddhi temple is located about 8 kilometers southeast of Kathmandu. It's on the road going towards Godavari in Lalitpur district.
Okay.
Geographically, it's around 4,400 feet above sea level. The coordinates are given as latitude 270 degrees, 38 minutes north, longitude 850 degrees, 21 minutes east.
Pretty specific.
Yeah. And interestingly, the Karmanasha River, also called the Kotku River, flows nearby, maybe 800 meters west.
And what's the area like around the temple?
The texts describe a pretty normal climate, hot summers, cold winters. The temple itself is right in the middle of a residential area.
Okay.
And to the southeast, there's a pond that's considered a very important holy pond, a kund.
A holy pond. And the name Harisiddhi, is there a story behind that?
Yes, the village itself actually gets its name from the four-tiered temple at its center, the Harisiddhi Devi temple.
Oh, okay.
And there's this compelling legend about its origin. The story goes that way back. 2 demons injured Nandi.
Lord Shiva's bull, gatekeeper of Kailash.
That's the one. So Lord Shiva heard about this and summoned Chandika Devi. She appeared instantly and defeated the demons.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, and so she's worshipped in this form at the temple and known as Harisiddhi.
That's a strong origin story.
Yeah.
And the material also suggests maybe another way to interpret the name.
It does, and this is quite intriguing. The idea is that Harisiddhi might actually be a sort of contraction or maybe a slight shift from Harsiddhi.
Harisiddhi, okay.
So Har is one of the names for Lord Shiva, right? But Siddhi means accomplishment, power, or spiritual attainment, often associated with Parvati, Shiva's consort.
Ah, I see where this is going.
Exactly. So Harsiddhi could represent the combined energies, the qualities of both Shiva and Parvati.
Like the Ardhanarishvara concept, the divine, masculine, and feminine together.
Precisely that concept. It embodies them in a single form. Adds a whole different layer of meaning, doesn't it?
It really does. What about how the deity is depicted? What does she look like?
Well, according to Hindu iconography, baby Harisiddhi is shown with 4 hands.
Okay.
And each hand holds something symbolic. A drum, that's a damaru, a water pot, a kamendal, a sword or a khadga, and a sacred vessel, a kalash.
The classic symbols.
Yeah. And inside the temple, there are also 3 clay pots filled with water, kept facing west.
And they represent?
They represent Bhairav, Harisiddhi herself, and Kumari, highlighting different aspects of the divine energies worshipped there.
And it sounds like Devi Harisiddhi is known by quite a few different names.
Oh, indeed. She's also revered as Trishakti, Tridevi, Maheshwari, Ambama, Vaishnavi, and Jagadamba.
Wow, lots of aspects.
It really reflects her multifaceted nature, how devotees in different regions understand and worship her. The main priest of the temple even believes she's the fundamental creator of the world.
The creator?
Yeah, having brought forth Bhairav and Kumari through her own divine power. That's why she's called Trishakti, possessing 3 primary powers.
So a really central, powerful figure. The text mentions something interesting, that in some scriptures she's considered formless, but she also manifests in form. How does that work?
Right, that touches upon a core concept in Hinduism about the divine. While the Divi Purana apparently describes her as Kadtaya Martivihin, meaning formless.
Formless, okay.
It's believed she can manifest in various forms through her divine will, and she gives blessings based on the sincere intentions of her devotees.
So the ultimate reality might be beyond form, but it can appear in ways we can connect with.
That's the idea, exactly. So humans can connect and receive guidance.
And this deity's worship isn't just in Lalitpur, right? There are links to other places.
Absolutely, not just Laupur. The texts list several other locations where Devi Harasiddhi is established and worshipped, often under different names. It really emphasizes her regional reach.
Where else?
Well, back in Ujjain, India, she's known as Amba Ma. In Dwarka, also India, as Vaishnavi. In Gujarat, as Harasiddhi. Then in Nepal, Dalaka as Balkumari. Sitapila in Kathmandu as Harasiddhi Pith. Kwalka in Patan as Trudevi. Dulekal in Kavre as Trishakti, Agnamath in Patan as Maheshwari, Taiba in Lalitpur as Jagadamba.
So she has many homes, in a way.
Many homes, many names, and of course in Harasiddhi, Lalitpur as the Trishakti temple, with those origins tracing back to Ujjain.
It really underscores how these traditions connect across borders and cultures.
It truly does. It's fascinating.
Now, going back to Akshaya Tritiya itself, the material gives even more reasons why it's so significant, beyond just the specific deities we talked about.
Yeah, the scope of its importance is just, well, remarkable. The entire month of Vaishak is considered Vishnu's month, so it's especially sacred for his devotees anyway.
Right.
But Akshaya Tritiya specifically is believed to grant unending, imperishable rewards. That's the Akshay Phal we talked about, the imperishable fruit.
Imperishable fruit, I like that.
Yeah. And there's even a specific tradition among Nepali Hindus of eating and offering sattu.
What's sattu again?
It's flour made from roasted ground grains, and also sharbat, which is a sweet, refreshing drink on this day.
Okay. It sounds like the day really focused on building up spiritual merit.
Precisely. Any acts of charity, other religious deeds done on this day. They're believed to yield benefits that never fade, so it's an ideal time for giving for dharmic activities.
Makes sense.
It's also known as Chiranjeevi Tithi.
Chiranjeevi Tithi.
Yeah, the immortal date, because it commemorates the birth of Lord Parashuram, who's one of the 8 immortals, the Chiranjeevis, in Hindu mythology.
Ah, okay, the immortal date.
And astrologically, it's considered a self-siddha muhurta.
Self-siddha, meaning?
Meaning it's just inherently auspicious. You don't even need to consult astrological charts or timings. Any good deed started then is considered blessed.
Wow. That's quite a reputation. Are there any major historical or mythological events tied to this specific day?
Oh, yes, quite a few, according to the sources. The Bhavishya Purana says the end of Satya Yuga. That's the first and most virtuous cosmic age.
Right, the Golden Age.
Exactly. Its end and the beginning of the next age, Tritiya Yuga, both happened on Akshaya Tritiya.
The changing of cosmic ages.
Pretty significant, yeah. And like we mentioned, 3 important avatars of Vishnu, Lord Parashuram, Naranarayana, and Hayagriva are all believed to have appeared on this day.
3 avatars on one day.
Yeah. And in Vrindavan, the sacred site, the Charan Darshan, that's the viewing of the feet of the deity Banka Bihari, it only happens for devotees on this one day all year.
Just on Akshaya Tritiya.
Just on this day. And the doors of the Bhadranath temple, the very revered shrine in the Himalayas, they also open on Akshaya Tritiya.
So it marks beginnings too.
Definitely. It's considered the best, the most auspicious Akshaya Muhurta of the entire year.
It just keeps getting more and more significant. Anything else?
Well, according to some Puranic statements, the epic battle of Mahabharata actually ended on this day.
The Mahabharata War ended then.
And the Dwapara Yuga, the 3rd cosmic age, also concluded. So endings and beginnings again.
Wow.
And Lord Krishna apparently told Yudhishthira that any creative or worldly work started on Akshaya Tritiya gains lasting merit. New ventures begun then are likely to bring fame, recognition.
So it's good for practical things too.
Very much so. Acts like bathing in holy rivers, charity, meditation, chanting, penance, offerings, even ancestral rites, Pitri Tarpan, all yield immense spiritual rewards on this day. There's even a belief that starting something new then can really bring desired results, especially for those facing setbacks.
So it's really seen as a powerful day to overcome challenges and invite positive beginnings.
Exactly. Observing the fast associated with the day, giving generously in charity, these are said to be particularly helpful for people maybe facing financial instability or lack of peace at home, challenges with the children, or even feeling surrounded by negativity or enemies.
So it has benefits for well-being too.
Yes, and astrologically, with both the sun and the moon in their exalted positions on this day.
Exalted positions, okay.
It makes it highly, highly auspicious for major life events. marriage, starting new businesses, housewarming
All
ceremonies.
the big steps.
All the big steps. And marriages performed on this day are even believed to be free from any astrological flaws, any doshas.
Wow, okay. It's clear that Akshaya Tritiya is so much more than just another date on the calendar. It's like this powerful convergence point.
It really is a convergence of religious beliefs, deep cultural practices, significant mythology, history.
Yeah.
And what we've explored today, I think, illustrates that beautifully. We saw how Akshaya Tritiya, with its huge significance in Hinduism, provides the context for understanding the Singh family's tradition.
Their cool puja?
Their Kul Puja at the Harisiddhi temple, yeah. And then digging into Harisiddhi Devi herself, we found this deity with connections not just in Nepal, but stretching back to India,
To Ujjain.
to Ujjain, potentially linking right back to the Singh family's origins.
So the real aha moment here is seeing how this major Hindu festival acts like a linchpin, right?
Right.
Connecting a specific family's history, their devotion to a particular deity, and how that deity herself has these broader, fascinating connections across regions.
Absolutely. It pulls all those threads together, which brings up an important point for you, the listener, to maybe think about. How does consistently observing traditions like Kul Puja, especially on auspicious days like Akshaya Tritiya, help families keep that tangible, meaningful connection to their past, to their ancestors?
That's a great question.
And how might seemingly local deities or traditions actually hold these surprising historical links that span regions, maybe even countries? What other traditions in your own experience might have these hidden layers of connection just waiting to be explored?